Good evening, gentle people. In today's video, I want to talk about relationships. How they happened to me, what I think about it, what it taught me, what do I consider a healthy relationship, and how to keep it healthy. So let's start from our first key point is how the fuck do they happen, right? Because it's very different for everyone. Sometimes it happens as something that we call fate. Some are so surprising, so wonderful, so full of this coincidence, and some are just so artificial that you question yourself, does love exist anymore? You know, our modern culture of dating, I consider it quite fucked because I've never been on dating sites and I never understood that because I never really chased a relationship. I never really wanted like a boyfriend that I need someone. A lot of times when my friends would tell me something about relationship or how do they get there or these dating website stories, I just looked at them like, what are you doing? You know, because I think some people are just bored. Now, after I've been in a relationship, I get that dope, I get that excitement, I get that like fun from relationship. But what I actually think is that you don't know what you're doing with your lives. If you just chase a body, if you just chase this dopamine, if you need something for your brain to bring you this excitement, I have bad news for you. I know that it's your way to live your life and I'm not gonna judge you for this, but I do think you might wanna use yourself for something more useful and something that is more beneficial for you and your life. I hope you all know what I'm talking about, and I don't know if you share this thought with me or not, but you should not chase love. I don't chase, I attract type shit, you know? And you know, I do believe that it's true. I have seen a lot of people who would chase a girl or a boy and be like, oh, my life is so boring without it. You know what? If your life is boring without it, your life probably will be boring with it too. A person is not gonna affect your core much. It's not gonna change you much. And if you are at your core are not comfortable with yourself, well, that's where literally all problems come from. I do know people that ended up in pretty good relationships even through dating websites, so I don't say they don't exist. I just say that the way this is all going is a bit odd for me. And you know what it gives us? It gives us the understanding that it's all about the intention. Because there might be serious people on this website, or there could just be buddies who are looking for buddies. Which is also fine if that's what you're looking for. But we're talking about relationships here. What I mean by relationships, let's make it clear. I mean long term, I mean you're committed to the person, I mean you're hoping for the future. I have traditional views here and you know, I'm fucking grateful for it. No, really. What I think for now is that I don't see any sense in just wasting your time into something that is not gonna grow into your future. I also get easily attached to people as well, so I just don't like this thing of going through breakup, which is currently happening to me. But we'll talk about that later. So, there was a little spoiler. If I'm going through a breakup, it means that I've been in a relationship, right? So let's talk about our second key point is how I get into a relationship. How it happened to me. And here it was the mix of like something really banal. Is there a word banal? So it was a mix of something banal and something that I would call fate. I would call, damn, this person is my soulmate. Like, how this happened, guys? Am I in a movie? So I met this guy. I will talk about him respectfully because I still appreciate everything that he did for me a lot and I do still love him. We just realized that we're not really good for each other anymore and we should let it go. But how I met him is a fun story because first time I met him, it was in Taipei. I was in a club and he just came up to me and bro was gone. I mean gone. And it was like couple years ago, so I was just a naive kid. I couldn't even tell that something's wrong with him because that time he just came back from Dubai to Taipei And in this club that we were in, there was this tower that kind of reminded him of Raj Khalifa. He came up to me. We tried to have a conversation. He's like, what's your name? How old are you? Blah, 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 whatever. And then he's like, this tower reminds me of Raj Khalifa. I was like, okay. Yeah, I guess. He would look away, look at the tower, come back to me, and say the same thing over and over 5 times. Guys, 5 times it was like, this tower reminds me of Raj Khalifa. This tower reminds me of Raj Khalifa. This tower reminds me of Raj Khalifa. Bro, at one point I thought maybe I'm losing it. Maybe something's wrong with me, but I was sober. So I was like, nah, probably this guy's weird. And that's literally what I thought for the first time. And we didn't really contact each other much because somehow he found out that I was 17 by that time, which I really respect him for. Like, dude should have not go for that, you know? And he just would put some reactions on my stories, like nothing serious. We didn't even go out after that. The situation's forgotten. It was just hee haha, it was a funny encounter. We move on with our lives. I go back home. I remember after that contract in Taiwan, I went to Hong Kong, then I went back home, and then I went to Taipei again. And I would stay there for almost like 4 months. And I see this dude again in another club. The thing is, we have a common friend, and I just saw our common friend and I was like, hi. And I see this dude next to him. And this dude, guys, his haircut was a nice mullet. And I was like, not bad, not bad. But it was nothing more that I would just like his hair and his style and compliment him in my head. That's it. In Taipei, there are really cool clubs, and there was like this big DJ, I Hate Models, and I was like, yeah, and we were really having fun. There were my other friends, we played cards, we talked a lot, and then we went to after party to our common friend house, and we've been chilling there for the whole night. For the whole night, we would just fucking talk, blah, 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 and it just felt like there's so much things to talk about with this person. It was so new to me. He was so interesting. And I will tell you he is. He knows a lot. You can talk about whatever you want with him. And he's just very different from who I am. So it was like minus, and we came to 1 plus. I would literally talk the whole night with bro, and then he sent me home, and then the next day or the day after that, we went on our first date, which I didn't know it was a date. He was just like, do you want to go on a dinner? I was like, hell yeah, I want to go on a dinner. And we went to this nice Italian place, and we would eat pizza with salmon. It was so good. I still remember the taste. And then we went to shisha bar, and by that time we still were friendly, because we have 10 years gap, so we were both like careful, and we were both almost clear from the very beginning that like, I don't fuck with you, we're just friends. Well, didn't happen. I'm telling you guys, the tension between us, we just couldn't. I'm telling you, we just couldn't stay friends. No, we're not gonna be friends. That's not what I thought, but when he started making his first moves, his first flirty jokes, I was like, here we go. And you know, I've never been in a relationship previously, especially with a man like him, because he's good. He's good in flirting, he's good in talking. He's really good in talking. So this was a new feeling for me. I was like, what's that? Why do I feel so happy? Why do I feel so excited? Why does it feel like a fun game? And there were more dates, first kisses, and everything was perfect. Everything was great. I loved it. It's so weird to try to remember all that now, because it just feels like he was a different person. You know, it is true that the person at the beginning of the relationship is gonna be so perfect to you, but then it slowly unfolds. I know that it's from both sides. I also seemed perfect for him at the beginning, but then there's also my negative sides. But yeah, that's the short story how I got into this thing called relationship. And you know, I was happy about it. And now let's talk about what I think about it. I will try to tell you the story of our dating shortly. So, it was great. He was taking care of me. He would rent an apartment for me so I don't live in a model apartment. He would go to China with me. He would take me and my sister traveling to Bali. He would take me to travel to Thailand, and I was just having so much fun with him. I do understand that he done a lot for me, and I respect and love him for that. Why did we broke up is because some of his negative sides came up, and we tried to talk it through a lot. Actually, a lot. I think there was like 4-5 months before our first argument. I'm not gonna speak of reasons now, but the thing is, we would argue, then come back, then argue, then come back. And you know this feeling when we argued? We both were just so magnified to each other that we would just want to come back together. I remember like having this craving for him almost. At the same time, I understood that I can't be without him, it's fine, but it hurted, it hurted, because when you spend a lot of time with the person, like, we moved in together quite quickly, so we would spend the whole days together doing the same things and watching movies and just chilling and talking. And of course, like this, the person is gonna become a part of you. So every time we would break up, it just felt like the part of me would be just like removed, and hell yeah, it hurts, of course. So it would go in waves, like I think we would break up every 2 months and then go back together. And we've been together for around 9 months now. And the recent one was like the last one, because I understood that we'll keep going through the same pattern. And there were just some things about him that I didn't like, but I tried to accept. I tried to talk this through. But the last time it happened 4 days ago. 4 days ago we broke up again. There was just this level of disrespect that I understood that I cannot let him treat me like this. I cannot let this keep going. So I just decided to say like, hey, stop. We should break up, and I don't think that we should be together. Honestly, this time it wasn't as bad as a month ago, because we literally broke up on the 5th of December. That time I was crying, like at the airport, at the bus, the whole way home I was crying. When I came home I couldn't eat properly, like I felt empty and I felt sick. There was almost this like I want to throw up feeling, And I remember this like hardness in my chest. I remember that my heart would like feel weird. Like it's not just emotional, it's physical as well. But because that time was so bad, this time it is quite bad. Because I still miss him, I still remember that nice feeling, but I understand that it's better to let it go. Let that shit go. That's the motto. Sometimes you just gotta do it. Sometimes you just gotta move on. Sometimes the things are not for you, and it's better to realize it sooner than regret it later on. So I tried to make it short, but yeah, that's the quickly story about our relationship and how it went. And now I'm gonna tell you what I think about it, what I think about relationships. Well, it was I do understand why a lot of girls don't like men. I do understand that. Those parts were in my man as well, but I would still love him regardlessly, I think that this relationship taught me a lot. I think that he would highlight my negative sides. We would talk about it and I would try to fix it. I think that you do grow in a relationship. I think that it definitely does give you support and you definitely feel more love. But at the same time, what I noticed, you kinda start losing yourself, which is through picking up on some behaviors from your partner, which could be fine, but at the same time, it could be bad. So it always depends. It always depends on who your partner is, what your behaviors are, and how good are you in standing up for yourself and your boundaries, which I absolutely suck at. Yeah. I think that relationships are great. I think that love is great. I do think that we live for love. We should experience love. Love is amazing feeling. And it's not just something that happens in our brain, right? It like changes our whole body, our emotions, our brain waves, everything. Everything is different with love. And I do recommend it for you guys. But what do I want to make an accent on here is that you should love yourself first. You should love yourself first. That's what my body had problems with, and like sometimes you just couldn't help it. Sometimes you try to make the person love themselves more, but what I would try to do is like maybe try to compliment him or say something nice, but these things will only feed their ego. These things are not gonna affect their self-love, because self-love is eternal. Self-love is something that you should develop for yourself. Something that is so unique, because we are all unique and only you should know what to love yourself for. You feel me? Yeah. So what did this relationship taught me is... I think I'm gonna say what? I'm gonna say don't be afraid to give love. Don't be afraid to be heartbroken. Don't be afraid of connection. It is great. I don't know how you all are handling breakups, if you went through one, but I would say that not that it is worth it, I would say that it is normal, because our life goes in the waves and there are ups and downs, and sometimes if you've been so high, of course it's painful to fall. It's painful to just have the whole person, the person that you love, disappear from your life, and you have to let them disappear. You have to even effortlessly try to not text this person, not try to think about them too much. You know what I'm saying? And healing exists, guys. You will heal. You'll be fine. Anything that happens, you'll be fine. You can get attached to the person, but don't get obsessed. Don't get dependent on the person. Get obsessed with yourself, babes. Oh, I know what this relationship taught me. So my man tried to kind of say that I'm like too self-obsessed, I think about myself too much, and that's literally the reason why we broke up, like the most recent time. But it was like extreme. I understand that sometimes you can be egoistic and it's not fine, but the bro couldn't handle like that I have my own life, you know? I would tell him that I have these plans, I need to go there, and for him it wasn't acceptable. Again, here it depends on what boundaries you have, where is your line, and it's important to make it clear. Ours just didn't work out. But what is weird for me is that he expected me to like just change my whole plans for him. Don't do that. Like, don't do that. And I realized that it's something that he would do. He would like come for me to another country or do something, and then in the argument he would be like, but I do this for you. Bro, I would never like force you to do this for me. You do everything for yourself first. Please don't do anything for other people that is just like, oh, I will do that and I will expect something back. No. Just no. Because then it will make you passive aggressive. Then it will make you think like, oh, I did that for them. Why are they not treating me nicely now? Because no one has to. Because we have our own lives. We have our own plans. And if you're not comfortable with something, just don't do it. It's gonna be a problem. And it was so obvious for me. It was like, I don't want to change my plans for you, babe. It was like, no, I have some things that are my priorities and you are not my first priority. Which he was actually quite upset about. But I also didn't get that part, because I am my first priority. I will say this now out loud. I am this girl, my first priority. I think of her first. I protect her first. I will make sure that she is safe with me first. And that's something that you should do as well. 100%. Just trust me. Just if you're not doing it yet, for some reason, I don't know why, do it. Because whatever happens, people come and go, you stay. You always stay within yourself and you have to live with yourself, so keep care of yourself first. Take care. English is not my first language. Це благовонія.
Ніхто гуляти не йде, так крижаний дощ.
О, град, типа? Ну ладно. And we have two last key points is what do I consider healthy relationships? I consider healthy relationships is no obsession, just love, just this pure love that you shouldn't crave for a person. You know that you are both fine even if you're on distance, but you still love and care for each other. You still give the interest, the commitment, the attention to the person, the emotion. Anything that you want to give to them, just give regardlessly. In healthy relationship, you will always grow. In healthy relationships, you will go through some arguments and you will figure it out. You will talk this through. Please, the main thing is you have to learn how to communicate. Because if you don't know how to communicate, which I had this problem, I would just shut down. Like, bro is telling me something and I'm just like, you know, I was like a stupid birdie, like, like, I'll change, I'll do anything, because I didn't know what to say, I didn't know what is right and what is wrong. And my dear, if someone's telling you that something's wrong with you, don't just take it as like, oh yeah, definitely, this person just sees me clearly. They don't know what you've been through, they don't know your life. You should take some notes, you should listen and maybe realize that, yeah, maybe in some points I wasn't right, but you shouldn't just take their words as the truth immediately and just try to change yourself completely for them. In healthy relationships, it is okay to be different. You will be different, obviously. And that's the great part about it, because you can learn from each other. You can keep each other interested. And then you kind of blend into this smoothie. I don't know what I was trying to say, but you feel me. I just wanna be part of your symphony. When you hold me tight and not let go. And let's finish this video because I've been yapping for quite a long time now. How to keep relationships healthy. Yes, let's listen to this teenager. She's probably a pro at relationships. But no, I will just tell you guys from my experience. So how to keep relationship healthy is first, communication. Remember this word, it's not hard. Communication. Very cool thing. With this, you can solve huge things, huge problems. You can solve whatever, because, you know, people have tongue. And if you're not deaf, you should appreciate that. Because some people are deaf. They cannot talk. They have to do these things, which is more complicated. I don't know how to do this, and I'm not mocking. I respect all the people who are deaf or not. But what I'm trying to say, if you can speak, speak. Just speak. I know that it cannot feel right in the moment, like, for me it was like, I kind of don't want to ruin the vibe and say this right now, but even if you don't want to do it in the moment, you can still like find a quiet moment in the evening and be like, hey babe, I want to talk about something, I didn't like this situation, maybe you should think about doing this, or I'm liking this. You can literally teach the person how to treat you. They can do it as well, and that's what can lead you to be in a perfect match, because you just learn how to be with each other. And of course, as it was in my relationship, we were kind of learning intuitively and just spectating each other, but it is so much easier to do with words, so please do. Also, healthy relationship is all about love and respect, guys. Just respect each other, listen to each other, and you will have everything you need. Understand that these people have their own process of emotions, they have their own traumas and their own experiences, and they're not gonna look at the things the way you do. And that's okay. Also, I think sometimes you should just take a rest from each other. Because if you're spending day and day again and again, it's like your family, you know? You love them regardlessly, but when it's too much, it gets overwhelming and you're just like, guys, I'm kind of so tired of you, you know? So sometimes just go out with your friends, take time to do your own hobbies, your own stuff, Don't give all of yourself to a man. Please don't do that. You have your life, you have your interests, you have yourself. So stay with yourself, love yourself, be healthy, be happy, be lovely, don't be afraid to give love, and I'll see you in the next video.